My name is Anna. 2 years ago, my husband, Max, and I made a big change in our lives. We moved from the bustling city to a small, quiet village surrounded by nature. The fresh air, the gentle flow of the nearby river, and the vast forest were everything we had dreamed of. It was peaceful, a perfect place for the life we envisioned, especially as we planned to start a family. We wanted our future children to grow up in a place where they could run freely, explore the outdoors, and be close to nature. Shortly after moving in, we met our neighbors, John and Lisa. They were a couple around our age and, like us, they didn't have children. We quickly formed a bond, sharing dinners, going on picnics, and sometimes wandering into the forest to pick mushrooms. Life was simple, serene, and full of warmth. John worked a demanding job that required him to be away for weeks or even months at a time. When he was gone, Lisa often felt lonely and would reach out to Max and me for help around her home. At first, Lisa would ask both of us for help. Fixing a broken chair, moving heavy boxes, or tending her garden. Max, always kind and eager to lend a hand, would often take the lead. But as time passed, her requests shifted, becoming more frequent and directed solely at Max. She'd call over when I was busy or when she knew Max was alone. It started with fixing things around the house, but soon, he would spend hours there, even into the evenings. I tried to ignore the nagging feeling in my chest, convincing myself I was being paranoid. Max was a good man, always eager to help others. But my unease grew. If this story pulls at your heartstrings and you want to hear more real-life experiences and emotional journeys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support means the world to us, and it helps bring you more stories that inspire and connect us all. Lisa's behavior began to change. She started wearing nicer clothes when Max came by and laughed a little too freely, touching his arm when she spoke. I tried to suppress my anxiety, but each interaction chipped away at my peace of mind. One evening, after Max had spent hours at Lisa's house fixing a window frame, I couldn't hold back any longer. "Max," I said, my voice trembling, "I'm starting to feel like there's more going on than just helping out a neighbor." He paused, setting down his toolbox with a confused look. "Anna, what do you mean?" he asked, genuinely surprised. "Lisa's always needing you, and it's strange," I continued. Max's expression softened, and he took my hands. "I never meant to make you feel this way," he said. "Lisa is just lonely, and I thought I was being a good neighbor." I wanted to believe him, and part of me did. But the doubt lingered. The next day, I decided to see for myself. When Max went over to Lisa's house, I followed after a few minutes and watched from outside the kitchen window. Lisa leaned in closer as they talked, her laughter light and warm. It wasn't just the touch but the way her eyes shone with a hidden intensity that sent a chill down my spine. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind raced with questions. Was I being unreasonable, or was there truly something between them? The thought of confrontation made my stomach turn, but the silence between Max and me became suffocating. I tried to find the right words to express my fears but felt trapped between doubt and guilt. The next morning, I decided to confront Lisa. It was out of character for me, but it felt necessary. I knocked on her door, heart pounding. She answered with a surprised smile. Anna, good morning, she said brightly. Can we talk? I asked. She invited me in, and the room, filled with framed photos and warm lighting, seemed to mock my anxiety. I've noticed how often you've been asking Max for help, I said. Lisa's smile faltered, and she looked down. It's been hard with John away so much, she admitted. Max has been a friend when I needed one. I understand, I replied. But it feels like more than that. For a moment her eyes met mine, and I saw a flicker of something. Guilt, perhaps. I never meant to make things uncomfortable, she said, her voice soft. I didn't realize how it looked. I left her house feeling both relieved and conflicted. When I told Max about the conversation, he listened, his face shadowed with regret. I'm sorry, Anna, he said. I never wanted to hurt you. From that day, Max made an effort to spend less time at Lisa's house. He would come home earlier and engage in more activities with me. We took evening walks, shared quiet moments on our porch, and talked more openly. It wasn't an instant fix, but it was a step toward rebuilding the trust that had started to erode. Slowly, I began to feel a sense of normalcy returning. One afternoon, as I prepared dinner, there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find Lisa standing there with a homemade cake. I thought I'd bring this over as a thank you for all the help, she said, her smile overly sweet. Is Max home? She asked, peering over my shoulder. My pulse quickened. He's busy right now, I replied. Lisa's smile faltered, but she handed me the cake and said, let me know if you need anything. That night, I told Max about Lisa's visit. He chuckled nervously. I think she's just trying to be friendly, he said. But I wasn't so sure. The following days felt charged with tension. Lisa's presence, even when absent, seemed to hang in the air. I found myself watching Max more closely, searching for signs that I desperately hoped weren't there. Weeks passed, and Lisa stopped coming around as much. Just when I thought things were returning to normal, I saw her at the local store. She approached me with a smile. Your husband is very helpful, she said lightly. I don't know what I'd do without him. Her words stung, and I forced a polite smile. Yes, he's kind, I replied. But when she added, you're lucky, with a hint of something that felt like a challenge, I knew I had to distance myself even more. Max and I talked that night, sitting on the porch as the sun set behind the trees. Anna, he said, breaking the silence, I want you to know that I'm here for you, only you. His sincerity eased my heart, and I realized that trust would take time but was still within reach. We agreed to maintain healthy boundaries, not just with Lisa but in all aspects of our lives, to protect what we had. John returned home a month later, and Lisa's focus shifted. The days of her constant calls and visits dwindled. Max and I found peace in the change, using the space to reconnect. We planned weekend getaways, rediscovered shared hobbies, and talked more seriously about starting a family. The village, once shadowed by doubt, felt warm again. Lisa and John moved to the city a few months later for a new job opportunity. With their departure, life in the village became peaceful. The tension that had loomed over us dissipated, and Max and I felt a renewed sense of stability. It was as though the storm had passed, leaving us stronger and more united than before. Sitting together one evening, watching the sunset, I turned to Max and said, "I'm sorry for doubting you." He looked at me surprised. "Doubting me?" he asked. I smiled, feeling a sense of peace wash over me. Yes, because I know now that trust isn't just about never questioning, but about being brave enough to face the doubts and work through them. He squeezed my hand, his eyes filled with love. "I'd never do anything to hurt you, Anna. We're in this together." As the days turned into years, we cherished the life we built, knowing that trust, communication, and resilience were the foundation that kept us strong. Even as Lisa and John settled into their new life in the city, the echoes of those uncertain days lingered. On quiet evenings, I would sometimes catch Max gazing out at the forest, lost in thought. The moments of silence between us felt heavier, filled with memories that hadn't yet settled into peace. One evening, as the fireplace crackled and cast warm shadows across the room, I finally spoke. "Do you ever think about it, Max? About what almost happened?" He turned to me, his eyes soft with regret and understanding. "Yes, Anna. I think about how close we came to letting doubt win. And it scares me because I can't imagine my life without you." His honesty touched a place in me that had been aching. We sat in that silence, letting it speak what words couldn't. Our journey to rebuild trust wasn't without its missteps. One afternoon, while sorting through an old box, I found a handwritten note from Lisa tucked among some papers. A small thank you note she had given Max after one of his visits. My chest tightened as the memories resurfaced, the old wound stinging anew. I showed it to Max, unable to mask my discomfort. He sighed and took my hand. "Anna, I know this is still hard for you, but we have to let it go, piece by piece, if we want to move forward." Tears welled in my eyes, not from anger, but from exhaustion. I realized then that forgiveness was not a single act, but a series of choices, made over and over. "I want to let it go, Max," I whispered, and for the first time saying it felt real. As we continued to heal, I noticed small changes that spoke of a new chapter in our life. Max would bring me wildflowers from his morning walks, and we spent more time exploring the village, discovering hidden trails and secret clearings that became our little sanctuaries. One evening, we organized a community picnic by the river, inviting old friends and new neighbors. The laughter of children running through the grass and the scent of food mingling with the crisp air felt like a promise fulfilled. It reminded me of why we had come here in the first place, to build a life grounded in simplicity and love. Sitting beside Max, surrounded by warmth and laughter, I felt a rush of gratitude. This was our life, made whole again through shared moments and quiet resilience. Over time, I learned that the true strength of our relationship was not just in our love for each other, but in the way we faced adversity together. There was a morning when Max woke early, a note of excitement in his voice as he said, "Come with me, Anna. I have something to show you." He led me through the dewy grass to a spot in the woods where the light filtered in golden rays through the trees. "This is where I come to think," he said. "It reminds me of everything we've overcome." We stood there, surrounded by nature's quiet beauty, and I felt a profound sense of peace. The doubts, the pain, and even the moments of anger had forged something unbreakable between us. I looked at him, my heart swelling with the knowledge that we were stronger not despite what we had been through, but because of it. In the years that followed, Max and I kept building our life, weaving in the lessons we had learned. Trust became not just a word but a daily practice, an active choice to see and value each other. The past no longer haunted us. It had become a testament to our resilience. As I sat one evening, watching the fire's glow flicker across our cozy living room, I thought about the journey we had taken. The fear, the doubt, and ultimately, the healing that brought us here. I turned to Max and whispered, "We made it." He smiled, his eyes full of love. "Yes, we did, Anna. And we'll keep making it together." If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support means the world and helps us create more heartfelt stories that resonate and inspire. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us.